Hello and greetings, fellow party members. Welcome to the May 11th meeting of the People's Party of North Carolina. It's good to see everybody, and good to see especially our dear friend and fellow rabble rouser, Aaron Mohammed. Yes, let's clap.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back. Thank you guys
Yes, we
for
missed you, man.
holding it down. I've been trying to keep up with things, and um, yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. There's a lot of work to be done, but I'm really happy to see so much has gotten done in that amount of time. So it's good to be back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got a few things we're going to talk over tonight. Nothing super major, but it is just going to get some updates on what's going on. I don't know if everybody's checked out the gilded announcements or what have you, but we do have a set of bylaws in place that have been voted on, and so now we move forward with our banking situation, and we'll get a report from Aaron on that. Stacy, do what you can, but we'd love to hear about Shikori Hills. I'm hoping Mabel can join us, and no, she's not going to make it.
I don't
Okay.
think so. She's in Atlanta doing
Yeah, car's parked in my front yard.
right. She's doing some kind of action in Atlanta. So she's doing the good work.
Yeah.
There's a good reason for not being here.
Okay, well, we go and get started, and let's see. Yeah, wait, TC Townsend. I admitted him. I've met him at a thing, so he's joining our thing tonight, our meeting. He was in the duopoly meeting that's in the calendar, and really great guy. And TC, welcome, buddy. We're glad to see you. You are on mute.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm just here to visit and wish you all well and see how the real work is done.
The real work, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, you guys look on the calendars at 10 o'clock on Thursdays, and I had a wonderful time. I've been to the past couple of meetings, and it's let me see, Disrupting the Duopoly is the name of it, but Nissan's in it, and I'm in it, and there's other folks who are joining it. So good idea to join it or come in and share your ideas and listen to other ideas and know that we're all in this together. But
Where is that?
well, if you go to the calendar, you should see it on Thursday night. You should see it's at 10 p.m. and it's on the calendar. It says Disrupting the Duopoly. I mean. So you can join that, and I think you'll really have a good time with the other folks who are there. And so, yeah, going forward, let's go ahead and start off with Shikori Hills. Since Stacy, you might not have too much energy, we'll go ahead and get you first.
Okay.
So,
Well, it was really fun. Lousy weather.
Yeah.
I gave out a lot of business cards, and I had printed out a bunch of quarter pagers made from the ones that we had at Jimmy Dore. I put a R logo on it instead of the MPP logo. I handed out a lot of those. We got about 5 or 6 people signed up for information. Nobody was ready to join meetings, which is or maybe one person might, but that's understandable. We're so new and we don't have a lot of stuff in place yet. So, but there were about 6 people who were interested in receiving information.
Did you notice the people that you gave cards to and talked to? Did they what was their overall feeling about another party, and were they sick of the other two parties? What was the
Absolutely.
sentiment there?
Absolutely. Most of them they would fit right in here. And
Mhm.
some of them, a couple of them mentioned the idea that, oh, the third party thing, and you're going to steal the votes from the Dems and blah, 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 blah. But I told those people that, this is the 21st century. There are now in the country and also in North Carolina, more people registered as
Unaffiliated.
Unaffiliated is a term in
unaffiliated.
North Carolina, but it's different in other states.
Yeah,
Right.
unaffiliated than either Dem or Republican. So that seemed to sink in with people. It's like, yeah, it's not the way it used to be in the 20th century. Things are changing, and the trend is going in that direction. So that we have a voting block if we can convince people. So
Yeah.
that worked. I'm going to recommend saying that for other people who might be doing this. It's completely logical, and it's hard to argue with it. So
That's fantastic news. I mean, I couldn't have got
Yeah.
any better news than that. That the overall environment, the overall attitude out there is conducive to what we're doing, which is excellent news, I think. And I'm just very excited, and I'm very thankful that you guys, you got out there in the nasty weather and you did that, and we all owe you a debt of gratitude for doing that, for sure. So thank you very much.
doing the good work.
Did you have some other goodies you wanted to share?
There was one. I think I forgot. What was it?
We had a great-
This is what I was going to say. Shikori is a really good place for this. Like, everybody is a former Bernie supporter, and I've done this for Jill Stein and Bernie in the past, and everybody was like, "Oh, we're so glad you're here," and "Oh, this is great." And I had some good conversations with quite a number of people, so that's rewarding too, because I don't know, it's more in depth. Instead of just passing the cards out. And so there were some very supportive people that I talked to. Yeah, so Shikori is not your typical place. It's really on our side. So going to other places might not be quite as good. But so we should just keep going to Shikori.
Mark, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I saw in the pictures that you had a Green Party ballot access petition. How'd you do on those?
Well, as it happened, we were right next to the Green Party booth, which was a little challenging for me because of those people I had a falling out with. But it was actually all right. It was all right. And I told them right at the beginning we had their ballot access. We were collecting signatures, but actually they were doing such a good job of pumping it that we didn't even bother to really push it. I think we got a couple of more signatures for them, but
I see.
But yeah, they were really aggressive. So
okay. Who was the guy in the brown shirt in the picture? You know?
It was a beige shirt.
Brown T-shirt, saying Droney the friendly surveillance drone.
That may have been a friend of Mabel's.
Okay.
People had a lot of friends doing other booths in the advocacy. Like, all the advocacy booths are in a line, and there were actually 3 parties. There was us, the Green Party, and DSA, which I thought was cool. And
which is not a party. Are they trying to be one?
Nah, but you know,
But they were there.
They
They're a
were
pressure
there.
group, really, is what they are.
yeah. And then, what do you call it? The ranked choice voting people were there. Those were the people, and Maple knew some people in both the DSA and the ranked choice voting.
And so that was the ranked choice voting group was this just a North Carolina group? Was it Fair Vote? There's a different group that I've heard mentioned.
I don't know.
Just don't remember. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll say I was really glad that we had the Green Party ballot access thing, because beyond that, I felt like, you know, we were kind of I felt like I was an adversary just because I had been part of the Green Party and left on not the greatest terms. So, but so I was really glad we had the access, ballot access things. You know, that's to show we were in good faith in trying to support. So it's like,
Right.
So
Okay.
that's it.
I just
got a
had,
hand up.
yeah, I just had something real quick. So, thank you for sharing that update on Shikori Hills. I wanted to take the opportunity to mention I noticed we got a message recently from the candidate Matthew Ho, who reached out to our Twitter page. He started following back on that, and he just made the ask if we could you know, gather signatures for them, and I did, or announced that, you know, basically he asked me to announce well, what they're trying to do, which I had already done previously. So I just let him know, like, yeah, you know, there are people on here, you know, we support you, we wish you all the best. You know, we definitely have been. I sent some signatures. I know other people may have as well. So I just let him know, and you know, I I think that will add to their, and I'm also in their Slack, so I can see they're definitely going like 100 miles an hour right now trying to get those signatures, which is good, which is what they have to do. But I think it will add to the good faith that they see that we're really not trying to step on their toes per se. We are trying to do our own thing, and we are going to be different with our own infrastructure. So I think it's another that it's good hearing you say that, because it's another instance of us showing that in our actions. So
Scott, I think you're muted.
Scott, I think you're muted. But I don't think we can hear you. All right, now you're okay. That's weird. It's showing you're not muted, but we cannot hear you. So I'm not sure why that is.
You're talking to me?
No, Scott. I'm
Oh,
not sure what's
Scott.
going on with his volume, but I will jump in a little bit just to give a quick update while he sorts out the sound. I'm not sure what's been shared as far as updates on the treasury. What's going on? We can't hear you, man. I don't know what's going on, Scott.
I
But
can tell you
basically,
what we've heard so far.
Okay, sure.
The whatever it was,
Aspiration.
started with an A.
Yeah, aspiration.
Bank
Yeah.
only does personal accounts. You
Aspire.
told us
Yeah.
that, and you were going to try again with the credit union that you had in mind, and that's the last I've heard.
Yeah, that's basically where it's unfortunate situation where I got kind of far with them in the process and had to end up shutting it down because they only do personal accounts apparently. So which is kind of disappointing because I really liked what they had going on. But it's all right. It's all good. I had a conversation with them, and they may end up adding that to their services at some point down the line. At this point in time, though, I think my focus is to just get anything, and we can always change it if it's not perfect or ideal. So I've also unfortunately had some trouble with the self-help credit union, and part of that is just their availability. So I try to do it over the phone, for example. It's not something I could really do over online. It's not as easily done online or on the phone like the previous one. So I had to give them a call, but then no one's answering their phones. I've called multiple times. I go through the touch tone process to get a person, and then it sends me to a voicemail. The voicemail is then full, and then the process starts over again. So it's pretty frustrating. I don't really have I wanted to try to go in person, but they're closed on Sunday. So I need to find a way to get there during the week and find a human.
Do you think that's a good
Get this
sign
done.
about their potential service?
Honestly, yeah, it's a good question and it's a good thought. And honestly, no, I don't. But the first thing I said, I think at this point, I think I'm just gonna try to get anything because we need something. I'm gonna try.
I've heard of one called it's Movement. Have you heard of that?
No,
That's
I have
kind
not.
of along the Aspire line, but I haven't looked into it.
The problem is this Aspire one kind of was a setback because it's taking up too much time, and so the biggest problem for me is during the times when I I need to just go down in person is when I'm working. So it's hard to juggle that. It needs to get done though. Um,
Well, if we're concerned about somebody snatching the People's Party name, according to Mark, we can preserve that by going ahead and getting registered as a political organization with the state. Is that correct, Mark?
No, that's not correct.
Oh, great. Well, fix me up.
You need the bank account information.
right.
They need
For the board of directors.
they need bank account information, treasurer and assistant treasurer. That's
Yeah.
what goes on the form.
And it
Okay.
can't be, and it has to be the organization's account. We can't do like a.
Yeah, it can't be a personal
Mark,
account of
are
an
you
officer.
available this week at all, Mark, to help me with
To
this?
do, sure. I mean, what do you have in mind?
Well, the parts I need help the most, I think, is going to be filling out the form and submitting it. But yeah, this is kind of just new territory for me, so
You mean the statement of organization?
believe so. Yeah, that's the one that goes to the Board of Elections, right?
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's
sure.
the one that, yeah.
Yeah, I can help you with that, and really, there's nothing to it. It's very straightforward.
Okay.
And it's also it's in the documents section
Okay.
on Gilded. So yeah, putting that. There are a couple of other things that you need. It's sort of a general purpose form, and you need to state that it's used for political campaign committees also. So you need to check the right box and say that it's a political party committee.
Yeah.
But it's very straightforward. You'll see. If you've got the bank account, you got the assistant treasurer, you got the treasurer, you just fill it in.
I have the TIN. That was kind of the other big thing. So I've been, I have the basically we're set up with the IRS and everything in that regard. I do have to send. So here's the other thing. So the other update is I got a mail from the IRS basically asking why we didn't file taxes last year, and obviously the answer is we didn't exist. So, but just based on kind of the lag, I think I have to, in the bureaucracy of it, I have to respond to this soon and get this back out to them. So this is it's kind of frustrating.
that That sounds pretty easy.
Well, yeah, it is. It's just their format. It's just their formatting. It's just kind of annoying that we have to do it in general, but it is what it is. We do have it set up though. I did file the form that was required for this year, and we should be good on that front. So it's just about getting this bank, and we should be good. I did
Yeah,
some
if
research.
you do have a problem with the credit union, then we can just go to a commercial bank. I mean, if there's no other reasonably quick and convenient way to do it, probably the best thing is to just pick a relatively major one that has a lot of branches.
Yeah.
The green, when I was with the Greens, where did I go to open an account? I'm pretty sure it was SunTrust. I just we switched the account over when I took over as treasurer, and I was personally banking at SunTrust at that time, and so I just opened another account at my local branch. So in the event that we need to change treasurers, and the new treasurer probably won't live where you live, then
Right.
having an institution that's got a lot of branch offices is helpful.
Yeah, I mean that. So I've done a lot of kind of research on this, and that's one of the main criteria. So the criteria I'm looking for is, at first, was not a bank, not a real bank, or a bank that, like, Aspiration was a perfect example because it wasn't a real bank, and it ideologically aligned with what we were, who we are, and it had a lot of great incentives to, give back to the environment, and they made sure they didn't invest in, so there's all these other things. But so that was one criteria. The other one is for sure getting branches and ATMs and access throughout the state. The other one is the fees. So the fee schedule, I have it up here for the South Credit Union. For a checking account, a nonprofit organization is $10 per month. For a small business, it's 15. For a personal account, it's 5. So part of the deal is trying to find something. Like, the Aspiration would have been 0. So for the one that we were looking for, or at most it would have been 8. For
I have a business checking account at Wells Fargo, and
I'm making the same face.
I got it because not because I have a particularly good opinion of Wells Fargo, especially after all the recent publicity about their shenanigans.
Yeah.
However, they had an offer going where if you put $10,000 in, which we don't have, of course, but I had it, barely. If you put it in and leave it in, keep that as a minimum balance for 3 months, you get a bonus of $1,250.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why I bid on that.
That's how they get you. That's how they, it's definitely something to consider. But just so you guys know, these are the main. There's some other things, but these are the main. There's like the fee schedule. There's any percentage if we wanted to do anything. But I'm looking at, as far as what we have to do. I'm looking at what do we have to pay in to maintain it. What do we have to put in? How accessible is it? And what are their ideals?
Anyway, if I may interrupt and finish what I was saying, if for this account, if you keep a minimum balance of 500 in it, no fee.
For which one? For the Wells Fargo one?
Yeah.
Okay, Scott.
And I'm not sure what the fee is if you're below that, but anyhow, I pay no fee on that.
Okay.
As long as I keep 500 in.
There might be something similar to that here. Excuse me. I have to double check. I know for it was either this one or the other one. I think it was maybe it was 10,000 or 1,000. I forget. I think we lost Scott, but I know Bob had mentioned he may be able to help with that, but we have to cross that bridge at some point. I don't want to
I'd
spend
like
too
to
much.
see us pick a bank based on the services and if not focus on how much the fee is. So if they perhaps pay a good, if there's such thing as a good percentage on savings, for example, then rather than decide because they charge a fee for checking that we don't want them. I like to make that the last consideration because I'll be happy to
Well, there's a difference between the checking and the savings. There is a limit for the number of transactions you can do in a savings, for example.
Yeah, I'm not saying you choose the savings. I'm saying if we have some savings.
Okay.
I'm looking for options myself, and this I was just looking at this Movement Bank. It has was the first bank, and it's they show a branch in Greensboro, but I can't find it on their list. I'm sending them in something that for me personally, and I'll share that with you guys as to what they've got to offer.
Okay, so
But
are you saying that
it's an
there's
African American bank started in Virginia around Danville in 1919. A bunch of African Americans got together, got scraped up $20,000 and started a bank, and that's kind of where it came from.
Cool.
It's a really cool, yeah.
I'll check it out.
It's based in Danville, which is the second capital of the Confederacy. So if you don't mind a bunch of Confederate flags, you probably could go to the home office.
Well,
yeah, that's an interesting thing about Danville.
Anyways.
Hey, I have a suggestion that may or may not be worth something.
Okay.
And that is, I'm trying to remember NCCQ. So North Carolina State Employees Credit Union.
Oh, that's where I am. And
Yeah.
and they do not have business accounts.
That's what I wasn't sure.
But otherwise they'd be great.
Yeah.
Anytime other than this, when interest rates are effectively zero everywhere, and most people, just because they can't be negative in most places, though they were talking about the Fed going to negative interest rates. Anyhow, they're about a point better on everything. They're a point lower on loan interest and a point higher on savings interest. That's when interest rates are typically around 3%, they're noticeably better simply because they don't have to return a profit to shareholders. They also have a good charitable foundation. They are set up as a 501c3, and I have been a beneficiary of their foundation. They give scholarships to people to attend vocational schooling.
Wow.
So SECU is great, but they don't have business accounts.
Oh, well.
That's unfortunate. So not for us then.
Scott, can we hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, look, here it is. First Citizens Bank. I've got a business account there, $0. That's all you need to know. I've been using it for months now. All right, let's just get one there and go for it. I mean, this should not be a big deal. So let's get it done.
No, you got no minimum balance and no fees?
That's correct, sir.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. And I mean, we can always modify that after we get tuned into somebody that's more in line with our values. But for now, I mean, let's just get this ball rolling. You know
Do you
what I
want to
mean?
vote?
Yeah, no.
Do you want to vote for just going forward with that one?
Okay, well,
Do they have
why don't you make a
branches?
motion? What's that?
Do they have branches, all over the place?
Yeah. First Citizens fairly good sized bank. I mean, I know there's
Been around
there's
a
not a
long
lot
time.
of there's not a lot of branches, but there is one or two here in Winston I know of, and
Okay.
you got all the online services and all that good stuff, mobile check
First
deposit.
Citizens, you said?
First Citizens, yes.
Why don't
Uh,
we compare First Citizens and
Movement.
Wells Fargo? Although Wells
Wells.
Fargo is kind of tainted right now.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and say I'll vote for First Citizens just so we
I'll
can
vote
keep
Okay.
for
going.
First Citizens.
Me too.
Okay. Okay, great.
Me
So let's
too.
do this. So Scott, will you be able to get a bank number or
Absolutely. I can call my the banker lady that I deal with, and she'll be glad to open us up an account.
dude, that would be so helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'll send you the information as soon as I get it, and then we can.
And then
You
we
know.
can fill out that paper. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Whew.
yeah, I mean,
Great. That's great.
Lovely.
mhm.
I'm so glad that because this has been stressful. I mean, you guys wouldn't even it's been wild over here. I'll get. We'll have to catch up. We'll have to spend some time because it's already 7:30 and I got a lot of stuff. But I'd like to catch up with you guys. There's so much to catch up on, and I have so many questions about what's going on with UPA. And I saw one of the guys apparently quit. I don't know what's going on, man, but I'd
Who?
like to catch up on. I think his name was Tom, I believe. I'm not sure. I don't know. Mark might have been following, or he might know more about it. But
Mhm.
we'll cross that bridge. I don't know how much. What other Scott? What other items needed to be discussed on the agenda?
Well, not really anything really major. Now, as chair, I am the guy who is supposed to set the state convention, but I think we should all talk about that and figure out, me and Mark have briefly discussed it. So I think we do need to have our state convention this year in the even numbered years. And Mark's thinking on this is to do it after, say, in the fall, after, say, an election would happen in the fall of
Okay.
22. So therefore we can set it. Now the only question is, should we do an in-person thing? We do an online thing? Or, I mean, these are things we can play around with this for a little while. We've got a few months before we really need to hammer something down. But yeah, Mark, did you have something to say?
Yeah, concerning having it in the fall, my only thinking was that we it would be nice if we had more members if we're going to have an in-person convention. And since we don't this year, we're not nominating candidates. We wouldn't need to have it in the summer. If we're going to nominate candidates once we're running candidates, then that needs to happen in the summer at the latest, preferably kind of early in the summer or late in the spring, just to
Right.
give them time to campaign. However, this year we need some more members to have a convention, really, if at all possible. So more time for that would be handy. As for fall, it doesn't necessarily need to be after the election, but I was just thinking that would be later, but before winter, so travel is easier.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
Well,
my
that's something that we can play around with and move around if we need to. That's according to the bylaws. That's at the discretion of the chairs. So I just want to throw that out to everybody right now. Just something for us to be considering. And the only other thing we had that I wanted to bring up was the when this disrupting the duopoly that TC and me and Nissan were in. We were talking about the sociocracy, and Stacy, you're aware of that, and we came up with I just wanted to get something going here, so I set it in the calendar for this Thursday, tomorrow night from 5 to 7. You may or may not be able to make it. That's okay, but it's we're going to start working on how to understand how that works and how do you function it out? How do you make decisions as a group like that and use those tools? And Brad, who is he's one of our members, and Nissan are both pretty well versed in that. So we're going to be relying on them for the tutelage to understand how it works. But what I want to do is like have a 2-hour workshop on, okay, let's have some scenarios on what we would need to do, and then start understanding how to work it and how to make it work within an organization. So if you can make it tomorrow night, that would be great. If you can't, we're going to be continuing to do this. So keep that in mind. Just wanted to throw that out to everybody. Sociocracy can be a game changer, but we got to know how to do it. So
let me interrupt, Scott. I'm sorry. Tomorrow
go
night
ahead.
is supposed to be UPA, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have tried for 3 weeks to get on their Google Meet, and I've
Right.
been unsuccessful. Actually, McNeil tried getting me on. She couldn't figure out how to do it either. So I don't know what's going on.
I don't either.
Have you been trying to get on, Mark?
Yeah, it's never been a problem for me.
Oh, okay. Well, everything
it wasn't even
electronic
at the
seems to
start.
be a problem for me. So,
Mark, can you send him the link that you're using?
It's the one I'm using is it's on the UPA Gilded. I just click that. They have a calendar just like our Gilded, and
well, how do you get on the UPA Gilded? Maybe that's my problem.
Say what?
Yeah, it's in our calendar as well. Have you tried that link?
Well, I can't get to our calendar right now.
Why
All
is
I can get is the direct conversation that I conversated with you on today.
Direct message?
Direct message, yeah, right.
You can't.
I think it's probably on my end, and it's just about driven me nuts.
If you go
stuff straight,
you go to the Gilded. If you go to the Gilded list of channels, there should be one for NC meetings and events. Do you get that?
I don't know how to do that. I go to the Gilded list on our Gilded, and there's nothing. Our Gilded is not even on my list. Although I can get to the direct conversations. Let's don't waste the group's time with my problems, but that is definitely a problem.
We need to work on that. Aaron, you had your hand up.
Thank you. Yeah, I had some comments I was going to make about the convention, but I think Mark covered the same sentiments I had. I would just add that I would like to do 2 things: have this convention, but also meet you guys. I know I was able to meet some of you at the Jimmy Dore show, but I guess I would just add we don't have to combine them. We could do something sooner this summer as a group, hang out, something not so serious or what have you.
Yeah,
maybe
I think that's
a barbecue or something, but then also do the online convention later on. I mean, we could do it in person, but I think the online might work. So
right.
I was just going to add we may not need to combine them.
Yeah. I just feel I'm with you. Me and you talked about this already. I just think we need to get in front of each other. We're people, so this is a people's party. So yeah, we can do stuff online, but yeah, we need to see each other and shake hands and be people. You know what I'm saying?
Break bread.
Yeah, exactly. Have a little fun. I mean, this can get really serious sometimes, and we do need to be able to enjoy each other's company and that kind of thing. So I'm totally in favor of that. Everything you just said. So
yeah, and then the other thing is this isn't on the agenda, but it's something that happened today, and I'm real fired up about it. I'm trying to keep it cool, but basically, I don't know if you guys heard the news. And depending on where you heard the news, it's been real passive aggressive and watered down news. But essentially, a sniper assassinated a Palestinian journalist who was clearly wearing press gear, clearly coming out of a press vehicle. She was very well known for
Oh,
for years she's been covering the illegal occupation and the apartheid actions from the Israeli government. It's been very frustrating, and I just am so sick of all of this happening over and over again, like the cycle. um I'm just fired up about it. I don't know how else to put it. Like they murdered her, and to basically uh add fuel to the fire, they're just gaslighting us and saying, well, they're basically like, oh, she died. Well, how did she die? Like,
She
if you look
died.
at the New York Times, they never say, or any of these major news sources, they never say she was killed by Israeli soldiers. She was assassinated. They say it so happens that she died. It's like, well, how? It's like language matters here, and the way they're controlling all of the
Who's
media.
saying she just died?
Every mainstream. So you look at CNN, the AP News, the New York Times. Basically, any major news source uses uh, a passive tense when they use these headlines, and it's really infuriating. It just to me, it's like another layer of this, and this is something I think there's a stat like maybe 55 journalists have been murdered. By the way, this is a war crime, and no one's talking about it like it is. That's not this should be in the West. It's not going to be talked about like this, but around the world, this is a war crime. And the other thing I wanted to add real quick, I know Scott, your hands up, but I just saw that the squad passed another $50 billion to go to the Ukraine. And like the culmination of all of these things happening is really firing me up because you're seeing exactly how the duopoly is working here. When the Republicans had power, you had the squad going in on all of the atrocities and all the things that the American Empire are doing. They were exposing them. They're exposing it now because the Democrats have power. They're not only not speaking out on these certain things, they are rubber stamping it. The House just sent another $50 billion to the Senate, which will likely get passed. Meanwhile, there are news about mothers not having baby formula. Like we don't even have basic things here in this country. And it just, to me, it just is another example of how. And the other thing I was going to add is whoever that bad guy is on the Republican, I forget her name, MGT or Marjorie Green
Taylor Green.
yeah.
Taylor Green, MTG. She was the one who was the voice of reason basically standing up, speaking out. She was the one, a Republican right-wing person, was out here talking about how mothers don't have baby formula. No, Americans in this country aren't. Her entire take was spot on. She used facts, and what I noticed, and I'm seeing a pattern here. If it was the Republican Party that was in power, she would not be speaking out the way she was. This is a party move. She's gotten a green light from those who are really in power to say you can speak out on this because it's beneficial to garner support for Republicans. And the squad are muzzled. And when the Democrats get demolished this coming election cycle, because they will get demolished, because most independent thinkers are jumping there. I mean, it's unless they steal the election again, which is a possibility. Once that happens, then they're going to be greenlit to start talking truth to power again. Then you'll start hearing from AOC again, from Bernie Sanders. You'll see AOC at the border where there's kids still to this day in cages. doing photo ops, crying on camera, saying, why are there kids? Because right now she's not doing any of that. And the reason is because they have power. So I just wanted to highlight, today's a big day news-wise, highlight some of these things that are going on, because from both a domestic standpoint and a international standpoint, you're seeing, or we are seeing, how they're playing this game. They're sending more money to fascists in Europe, and they are letting their own here to die, basically. And it's going to galvanize more people. And if there were ever situations where we have the opportunity to get in front of people, and I wanted to add this earlier, I had a conversation with a buddy of mine on my trip, and it was the same conversation. He asked me the exact same question. I talked about being a part of this People's Party, what's been going on, what I've been up to, and he said, "Won't?" He said the same. They all think the same way because they've been brainwashed. He said, "Won't that take away votes from Democrats?" And
That's
the
the
exact
idea.
and the exact
Hell
answer.
yeah.
I
the-
I beg for the day somebody says that to me.
Oh my God! Just talk about the party. It's inevitable. Like, it's like embedded in their brains to say you're going to take away. Somebody's going to say you're going to take away votes, and you'll have the data to back it up that there are more people who are independent, who are unaffiliated, and not just that. Unlike the Democratic Party, who only will appeal to their own, and vice versa with the Republican Party. We're not. This is not about left and right. This is about up and down. This is about workers,
Right and
working people.
wrong.
This is about people. It doesn't matter, this is about issues. So we're not gonna shun someone for whatever. That's not the way. We should just be focused on the issues and focused on how we can help people, how we can reach people and and provide meaningful change, a meaningful option. So to bring it all back, like, I know when we get too deep in the nuts and the bolts of this, it's easy to lose the why, and the why is like what I'm most passionate about, and that is for giving a platform, giving an opportunity for people who are being abandoned right now. Literally, people who put all their eggs into the Democratic Party's basket, and they're just being ignored now. Now, I mean, Roe v. Wade is happening, is now in the news, and whether it's being used as a distraction or not, we're moving backwards. Like, if all this stuff was happening under Trump, like, I can only imagine how much the media would be going ham right now. But if all this is happening under Democrats, war, the mongering of war,
He
profiting off of
also,
it.
Aaron, he also just authorized drilling on federal lands again.
And exactly. And so whether it's the environment, whether it's Medicare for all, whether it's the imperialism of the U.S. empire going around the world, killing people, or our U.S. tax dollar. By the way, our U.S. tax dollars are what's being used, sent to Israel to fund their military to do the atrocities that I was talking about from before. So this is wild. And there are two reputable human rights groups that came out last year with a full report that said Israel is an apartheid state. And yet, for some reason, we are still sending money to an apartheid state. They are not a democracy. And I get pushback because one is Human Rights Watch. I get pushback from a lot of Zionists. They come after me and they say, well, who wrote the article, the Human Rights Watch? But they never say anything about the other article, which is from, it's called Bethlehem, or it's hard to pronounce, but Tislam. But it's an Israeli Human Watch group. It's from inside Israel, their own people, who have come to the same conclusions, that based on the report and the investigation they went through, their conclusion is that Israel is an apartheid state. So it's coming from multiple human rights groups from around the world. and it's not getting enough attention. And as long as we continue to send U.S. tax dollars to support them, this is going to continue to happen. So,
Aaron,
uh,
may I interject?
yeah, I'm done. I'm done. So,
I've just looked up Palestinian Reporter and CNN, Washington Post, NPR, AP News, and those that I haven't even scrolled down are saying that she was shot dead, killed. So I don't know what
so they can update those headlines as the day goes on, but I can I think I may have sent something in the
I also want to interject something too here. If you notice the visuals on this, because I just watched the news, not because there's any truth in it, but because I want to see how they're lying to us. But they showed that woman laying there dead. Now, you notice on Americans or Ukrainians or any other war casualties, they blur out the image. But that woman was laying there dead on the ground and they did not blur that at all. So that tells you a little bit, tells you a whole lot about what the biases are here. It's okay to show the ugly bad guys, but oh God, you don't want to see an American laying on the ground dead.
yeah.
It's very obvious the bias there if you really pay attention to it. So
Yeah, so just Bob, just so you know, like they have their initial headlines that they come out with, and when there's enough outrage, there was a lot. I'll just say this: there was a lot of outrage based on the verbiage, and they can update it. It's not like printed newspapers where it's printed and it's done. They can change their headlines as they go. So people screenshot so they can show people what the initial one was. So here's one from the New York Times. It says Shireen Abu Akleh, trailblazing Palestinian journalist, dies at 51. Well, how did she die? How did she die? They're burying the lead there, and so someone crosses it out to highlight the insane way of reporting, and they crossed out dies and said killed by Israeli forces in red, so that it's clear how this happened. That's just one example. There's somebody screenshotted. So
I wasn't doubting you.
I know. I'm just explaining the point. Here's from the BBC News. Al Jazeera reporter killed during Israeli raid in West Bank. Okay. How was she killed? Who killed her? Who killed her? That's important. Here's another one. Palestinian American Al Jazeera journalist killed in West Bank. How? So, these are TC. Did you have your hand up? Sorry about that.
No, I'm just saying bye. I'm going to my meeting.
Okay, I appreciate it. Sorry, I get
week.
fired up.
Hey, TC, is there anything you'd like to say or add, buddy?
No, I'm on my way to the Deliberate Democracy group, and
okay. Well, I plan on
we have a Wednesday and a Thursday meeting.
Okay. Well, I plan on being on that one tomorrow.
All right, cool. I'll see you
there. Take care, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
All right, y'all keep up the good work.
Keep up. Come on back anytime.
If I may interrupt, I've got to go in a few minutes here too. We're almost to the top of the hour. I got to go talk to Mr. McCorkle, but I checked a Google map, and First Citizens does have quite a lot of locations. Nearest one to me would be Concord. I think I only got ones in my general vicinity because I'm not seeing any even in Winston-Salem. I would have to expand the search a bit, but it looks like they're very good in terms of that. Also, I put the link for the RA meetings in the chat there, but it's the same. It's the same in our Gilded as it is in the UPA Gilded, so I don't think it's changed. So if you're using either one of those, I'll also email it to you, Bob. But
thank you.
But
thanks a lot, Mark.
What are you getting when you click the link? Do you even have a link to click?
I have a link. Yeah, it's telling me I'm not admitted into the group.
do you have something to do you get a screen where you can click to ask to be
No.
admitted?
I don't remember now the details. It's just I've had several of those. That's why I'm thinking maybe something's on my end and I have no idea what to do about it.
Okay.
But thank you very much for sending me another link. I'll be glad to try it. I'm
Okay,
going to
well,
also get back with Rebecca and see if she can help me for this week.
yeah, is it possible that you're showing up as Signe? Because that's
No.
what that's
Well,
right now.
I've somehow gotten some of her stuff, her email stuff mixed in with mine, and there's no explanation for it whatsoever.
Because right now you are showing as Signe.
I don't know how that happened. In fact,
that could explain you're not getting in.
But how it happened is beyond explanation, because she in her Yahoo and her Gmail account was Signe Waller, no connection with my name at all.
I see. Okay.
Somebody smart than I am to have to figure it out.
Well, I'll send that to you in an email anyway. And
by the way, I'm not going to be able to go tomorrow night anyway. I've got another commitment, so don't be in a big hurry. Don't be in a big hurry.
All right. Well, in that case, I won't do anything.
Thank you. Don't do anything. I forgot. I've got a Mark Twain gig down in Monroe.
Oh, you'll be down in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm going to be at the Masonic Lodge in Monroe. It's a 150-year-old Masonic establishment, and they're giving out 50-year and 25-year service awards. And Mark Twain is going to be entertaining.
All right.
Oh, good luck on that. Hope it turns out well for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Break a leg.
I don't believe I can't get off the stage if I do that. I'd rather not break it.
All right, folks, gotta go. Good seeing you.
Good seeing.
Good to see you again.
Talk to you guys later.
All right, so it's 8:01 p.m. and let's see, is there some other things that we want to talk about or discuss tonight?
I gotta head out. I got a bunch of work I still have to finish up.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, I think y'all don't mind. I know Stacy's not feeling too good, so why don't we go ahead and adjourn early tonight?
Okay, that's
Okay.
good. Thanks.
All right, good. Well, thank you guys for joining the discussion. And Aaron, are you going to be our meeting master? You going to go ahead and start taking over the meetings again this next Wednesday, or do you want to continue like we're doing, or?
yeah, let's talk about that. I know
Okay.
we'll talk about that, because I know we were talking about maybe like a round robin type thing, and then also having it on different days. So
All right. Well, I'll get that bank stuff done tomorrow. I'll get that information to you, and then we'll rock and roll.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, by the way, Scott.
Yes, sir.
That card looks really good.
Oh, thank you.
I think you did a good job, and I may be able to get them done cheap. So I'll check that out and let you know.
Well, I've got the art ready to go. All you'd have to do is upload it to wherever you're getting it printed. I think.
Well, I'll ask them if it's
let me know
that way. But the last time I did something like that, I got it done at my local Staples for cheap. But it's not the same kind of thing. It was just a picture, and that didn't have all those multiple colors in it.
Right.
Well, I'll check with them and I'll let you know.
Okay, because I checked with Staples too, since I heard you say that, and I think the best price I got for the exact same card is like $56.
But this is on rerun. I took an existing business card in, and they redid them for me for cheap.
It was
So
like
maybe
$40. Wasn't it?
I'll check it out.
Okay, sounds good. All right, man. Take good care of yourself.
Yeah, I've had bronchitis and something for about a week. So I'm just getting out of that.
Get you plenty of rest. That'll help.
Yeah, that's easier said than done. That's been one of my problems. I haven't been able to sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. All right. It's sleeping is spotty and I'm waking up and waking up, going to bed at 10 and waking up at 3.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
No. Okay.
All
Well,
right,
I'm
buddy.
going to send you that piece that I thought I had sent you and Aaron already. I'll send it to you tonight or tomorrow morning. I got to get out of here tomorrow to go to Monroe.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
All right. I think I've got good ideas and I hope you'll agree.
Absolutely. Well, look forward to hearing them.
Okay. Thanks.
See you later, buddy.
I think you're doing a good job as
Well, thank you.
as the monitor of this group.
Okay, well, that's good feedback to know. I'm trying to do my best. I want everybody to be heard and make sure everybody is fairly listened to and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
So,
well, you seem to moderate and not get too like Aaron really gets wound up, and I love it, but it doesn't work really good for running a meeting.
yeah, you still have to go through that agenda and make sure everybody
Yeah,
gets
I mean, you got to get that done, then get wound up. I'm not meaning to criticism, so otherwise I would have talked to him about it. I love it in him. That's what I first liked about him was he's so passionate.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we need that. We need that fire,
Yeah.
I mean, but I think all of us kind of got that too, though. I mean, we like being able to share our viewpoints, and everybody is pretty much, in agreement most of the time for the basic ideas behind what we're standing for, what we're fighting for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're not going to agree. You're certainly not going to agree on everything. If we can just be fundamentally in agreement, then we can work together. I've got some ideas that for building capacity, people and money. That's what I'm sending to you and Aaron.
Right.
It's not a long piece, but it's probably pretty obvious what I'm saying, but I just put it all together more for myself in the beginning, just to do an analysis or a look at what I'm doing and trying to do and to get organized and have a plan. So that's why I wrote it. And I said, well, I'm going to send it. Well, I was also kind of writing it to you in the first place, but I'll send that to you today or tomorrow, or maybe over the weekend. I'll make note when I get, probably over the weekend. I'm trying not to make too many commitments. I haven't been feeling worth a shit.
Yeah, well, you got to take care of yourself. You got to love yourself. So,
well, I do love myself. That's why I'm taking care of myself. And I think you will get that message in my message to you. So
okay, buddy.
The way I want to handle this is a little bit unconventional. So I'll get it to you over the weekend.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. See you later.
All right. Goodbye.